It was pretty nice. All right, folks, we continue. So a lot of small businesses are, well, not necessarily suffering, but going through a tough time right now. Join us with a few things to consider when managing your brand during a crisis is digital marketing strategist Joel Darkham, who's is not in daytime life.
Yeah,
Smile Jamaica. Well, go on.
Morning, first of all. I mean, we're just having a conversation a while ago in the waiting area, and I think one of the most important things right now is the uncertainty that's there. But at the end of the day, a lot of brands and companies right now need to not necessarily be reactive, but try to strategize for the future, start planning now in the event that you have another happening of this nature coming up. I just feel it's important. You know, everybody kind of uncertain. Everybody kind of don't know really how to maneuver this. But trust me, there are some best practices that you really want to do right now at this moment, and try to get business at least start, go up a little bit more.
What are some of those best practices?
All right, so one of the first things that I want to touch on is the whole social media aspect of it. Everybody's now turning to social media as a means of finding information. So you have to ensure that all of your platforms right now are optimized to support that. So when I say that, I mean, first of all, let's start with your website, right? Some companies have updates now. You might have some changes in policy, time, etc. You want to, first of all, have something on your website, at least at the top, being a banner that's redirecting people to that kind of information that they need. A lot of persons are now checking banks, checking different areas now to see if there's anything that's affected in my region. I don't know if there's another quarantine going on elsewhere. So a lot of people don't really know what's going on. So they're turning to these channels to find that information. So that's the first thing you want to do. With your social media now, I think everybody needs to do a social media audit, because with that you have a lot of posts that you would have had scheduled from probably a month before that don't necessarily, you never really expect COVID to come now. So now that it's happening, you need to do an audit to ensure that all the posts that you have that's about to come out, none of them kind of insensitive. Don't meet me nowhere. Don't tell me to travel, go anywhere, because those are sensitive conversations now. So do a content audit, make sure say everything, and this is not just for the social media managers, the CMOs, the CEOs who are managing brands and companies. The last thing you want right now is a blunder. So do a content audit and ensure that whatever information you're pushing out now is in support of the time. And even when it comes down to hashtags and stuff like that, nobody hashtag your company name if you tell people preventative measures for COVID-19. Try and use the hashtags that are actually contributing to the conversation as well.
So don't be kind of selfish.
Don't be selfish. You can't do that right now, because we'll lose money. So the last thing you want to do is lose people. And I know that the scheduling is something.
Being selfish will turn off your customers.
It will, definitely will. And you have to even be careful as well, companies, in terms of your brand communications at this time as well. I know some of you might have promotions that are now gearing up for Easter or anything along that line. Try to see if you can, if it's still benefiting the company, you can press ahead with that. But if it's going to dive, kind of move the conversation away and kind of put it back on you, okay, come and do business with me right now. Be very careful with how you key those terms. So it's a lot to consider. They might seem simple, but one mishap can actually lead to a company's downfall right now.
I think everybody knows by now that I'm not a social media person. There's one here. If you intend on sending out messages to customers, general public, try to utilize an HTML web page and not an online PDF document.
Yes.
Well, I have no idea what that means. So I'm sure Delia know, but could you please explain to people like me? Maybe I'm the only person in the world who don't know.
No, man. Trust me. We'll go back to IT basics, so the HTML, hypertext markup language. So this is basically telling us the different ways in which you can put out content, right? The reason why it's recommended to do the HTML is because with a PDF, a lot of times you get a PDF document and you can't even open it. You might have some valuable information in there, but because of the device that you're using, you can't open it, you can't download it, etc. With the HTML now, it's easily optimized. You can open it quickly as a web page. It loads very fast, so it doesn't really put you through the stress of having to download a document then to review it. So it's a best practice that's recommended for companies right now, because, again, people are accessing information from tablets, phones, some devices we don't really know about. So you want to ensure that once they click on that, because there's some valuable information you're putting out, it can actually bring them to the content.
I actually didn't know that.
You didn't know? Trust me.
No, I didn't know one move faster. That's all I didn't know. I didn't know.
Sometimes get some PDF and some heavy.
Yeah, I kind of know that.
Thing there.
This one I find, put in place a social media team. So because I know some people have their marketing teams
Yeah.
who are used to doing things on the ground, but no, they need the social media team because on the ground has now moved to online.
Online, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So if they don't have a team,
Yes.
but what kind of who should be on your social media team? When you say a team, who am I looking for?
All right, so let's look at the two aspects of it. So you have some major brands that have a whole marketing team, a whole social media team to begin with. So they're safe in that sense. But I'm thinking about the small businesses now and medium enterprises that would have been outsourcing social media. If they're outsourcing social media, then they need to team up now with whoever they're outsourcing it with so that they can also be a part of managing, doing the social listening, seeing what's going on. The reason for recommending a social media team is right now, a lot of people are tweeting, are writing posts on Facebook, you're trying to find information, and one person might not be able to maneuver that, being a social media manager.
Yeah.
So the team really is not necessarily having a lot of persons having access to their accounts, but having persons on the ground, being online, looking at Facebook pages, typing in the keywords to see if they're saying anything about your brand, try to collect that information and send it over so that they can action it as soon as possible. At this point, you might be missing messages. Somebody might be messaging you on Facebook asking you, hey, is there a change now in the price? Is there an update?
Do you have products in?
Do you have products in stock?
Yeah,
So I don't want to miss that because that's where they're going to now move to somebody else to find that same information. But it's really just having a group of people run up at least 5 to 10. Everybody kind of their home now working remotely and say, I need some assistance with looking out on Instagram if you see any brand mentions, look out on Facebook if you see anything, if there's any negative comments online, or because some companies will be facing repercussions at this time, try to see if you can at least answer them. Don't delete any negative comments or anything along that line that's going to worsen it. So I think everybody just have to be very careful with how you're maneuvering this and not necessarily being the theatrics,
I like this. If you're going to share articles or links, make sure they're from trusted sources.
Yes.
You don't want to be the company that says A, B, C, and then you find out that it's not so.
No, you definitely don't want
It's better to just not do it.
Yes, and I'm happy I mentioned that earlier because, and this is not just for even business owners, this is for people in general, users. What's happening is because of the pandemic and the excitement and all of that, a lot of persons are getting short-sighted with what really is happening, and as such, you don't have an opportunity to think before you post something, People check everything. There's a World Health Organization that provides an update. There's CNN and there's a trusted local news sources. Please do not get caught up in all of this excitement and review before you post. Just the other day, we hear 15 when it was really 12. So that goes to show, just chill and try to resort to the authentic sources for the information and the news.
With the fake news.
Yeah, please
As
don't.
As tough as times are now, it is a time where we can learn a lot also and do things differently.
Absolutely.
And when we move on, we could hold on to some of these things that we are doing now. And as I said earlier, where you heard about washing hands, these are things that we should be doing all
the time.
Good to see you.
All the time.
Good to see you.
In Brighton, I sound Brighton.
Digital marketing strategist.
We can't go so. Virtual.
Joel, no back dark. Good to see you.